All right, so on the Futato lessons for last week, we had basically section A and section B here. We're looking at Shava, how to identify vocal and silent Shava, and then how to identify weak and strong Dagesh. And so, again, you've got the answers to all of these over here in your answers to practice drills. So you don't need me to go through every single answer. What I'm going to do in these videos, my goal is to kind of give you the shortcuts and maybe concentrate on the trickier situations. So again, the shortcut really for the Shava issue is that short is silent motto, slogan. That's really going to help you. There's more than just that as far as the rules of Shava goes. We'll see some of those other rules here, but that really does cover a lot of what you need to know. And it's simply this. The letter holding the Shava. Is that letter preceded by a short vowel? Okay? Now you have to know your short vowels. Your short vowels are Patach, Segel, Hirik, Kametz Chatuf, and Kibbutz. Okay? So that's Patach, Segel, Hirik. I don't think we have a Kametz Chatuf in here, but we do have a Kibbutz. Those 5 vowels are your short vowels in Hebrew. So when you have a Shava, just ask yourself, the vowel immediately preceding the letter with the Shava, is that a short vowel? Well, Hirik, yes. Patach, yes. Segel, yes. Kibbutz, yes. Hirik, yes. Holam Vav, no. Holam Vav is not a short vowel. So these first 5, short is silent. These are all silent Shavas. And the reason is the Shavas are preceded by a short vowel. Number 6, Holam Vav, I can't remember what Futato, what terminology he uses for Holam Vav. A lot of people call it unchangeably long, historically long. I think he might just call it long, but I know he uses like medium as well. So, but it's not short. That's for sure. So it's not silent. If it's not short, it's not silent. That means it's vocal. So this here is not kot vim. This is ko to vim. Vocal Shava. Same for number 7. You look at the letter with the Shava. The letter preceding it. Does it have a short vowel? Sere is not a short vowel. So this is not short. This is not silent. It's vocal. Be racha. Not bercha. Be racha. All right. We get to number 8. A different rule comes into play, but you can actually, in a pinch, you can still use the shortest silent rule. Look at the letter with the Shava. Look at the letter preceding the Shava. Does it have a short vowel? Well, there is no letter preceding the Shava. So there is no letter preceding the Shava with a short vowel. Not short, not silent. All right? Now, it's pretty intuitive, I think, once you understand how the sounds work in Hebrew, that when a Shava begins a word, it's going to be vocal. I mean, that's a pretty easy rule to memorize. But you can also see how the shortest silent rule would apply here. It does not have a short vowel before it, therefore it is not silent. Right? But the rule that Futato gives you here is probably the rule that anytime Shava begins, and honestly, it's anytime Shava begins a syllable, but we're basing our knowledge of syllables often on the Shava already, so that's why we use the short is silent rule. So here, anytime Shava begins a word, it's going to be vocal. All right. Now, we see in the next one, a third rule of Shava. Whenever you have 2 consecutive Shavas inside of a word, we're not talking about the first 2 letters. We're not talking about the last 2 letters. We're talking about two medial letters. All right? Whenever you have two shavas back to back, two consecutive shavas, the first one is always silent, the second one is always vocal. And you can figure this out applying the short is silent rule. Even though we have a third rule here that pretty straightforwardly answers it for us, you could still apply the short is silent rule. Go to the first shava. Does the letter immediately preceding it have a short vowel? Well, it has a hirik, yes. Short is silent. First one is silent. Go to the second shava. Does the letter immediately preceding it have a short vowel? Silent shava is not a short vowel. Silent shava is a null vowel value. There is no vowel value to silent shava. So in that case, the answer is no. The immediately preceding letter does not have a short vowel. Therefore, this shava is not silent. And that's how we get this rule of two internal shavas. First one's short, first one's silent, second one's vocal. Number 10, again, for the shava beginning a word is vocal. Number 11, I'm going to give you an additional rule here. This is a shortcut rule, but I'm going to give it to you at the end. I'm going to walk you through why this one is so tricky. Number 11, number 14, and number 15. A lot of students find these tricky. The reason why is that you're doubling the consonant when you have a doggish forte. You're supposed to double the consonant. But what you forget is that consonant inside of a word, we also need to mark some sort of a vowel for it. So here I'm using the semicolon to mark a shava. So we only see one shava here, but there's actually two. Both of these tets have a shava. And this would be the situation where when you have two consecutive shavas, the first one's always silent, the second one's always vocal. The shava you're looking at here, you're looking at the second shava. So you're looking at the vocal shava of these two. So this would be pronounced keet talu. Keet talu. Not kita talu, but just keet talu. This is the additional rule I'm going to give you. Anytime you have a doggish and a shava in the same letter, that shava will be vocal. Whether the doggish is weak or strong, it doesn't matter. If it has a doggish and a shava, the shava will be vocal. Okay? So that's another shortcut rule that you can use there. So that applies to number 14 as well, number 15 as well. I think that's about it for shavas. Let's look at the doggish now. The rule here for the doggish is sort of similar, but instead of basing it on the preceding vowel, we're going to ask a question about the preceding sound. Okay? So the basic rule is that if the letter with the doggish is immediately preceded by a vowel sound, the doggish is strong. You need that vowel for a strong doggish. But if the letter with the doggish is immediately preceded by a consonantal sound, which usually means a silent shava, because a silent shava has no sound. So here in number 1, mid-bar, the sound immediately preceding the bait, which holds the doggish, is the dalet sound, the d, mid-bar. Since it's not mid-bar, it's not the bar, it's d-bar, mid-bar. So in this case, the letter holding the doggish is immediately preceded by a consonantal sound because the shava is silent. When it's immediately preceded by a consonantal sound, we have a weak doggish. When it's immediately preceded by a vowel sound, and that will usually be a short vowel sound. But when we've got a vowel sound here between the doggish letter and its preceding letter, that's when we get a double doggish, a strong doggish. And the basic principle there is, in order to have the doubling effect, you need that extra vowel, that vowel breath that you get. You need the extra air that the vowel gives you in order to double the consonant. So if you don't have that vowel air, then it's not a doubling doggish. It's just a weak doggish. And you can test this by looking at every single non-Bagad Kafat letter in this exercise. Bagad Kafat letters could be strong or weak doggish, but the non-Bagad Kafat letters have to be strong. Non-Bagad Kafat letters do not take a weak doggish. They only take a strong doggish, which means every time you see a non-Bagad Kafat letter here with a doggish, if our rule is true, then that should be preceded by a vowel sound. So not once in this list are you going to see a non-Bagad Kafat letter with a doggish preceded by a silent Shavah. It's just not going to happen. So let's go through and test that. What sound precedes the doggish letter in each of these? Number 3, it's Hirik. Number 4, it's silent Shavah, but this is a Bagad Kafat letter. And because it's a silent Shavah, it's Lene, or it's weak. Number 5, again, silent Shavah, so it's weak, but it's Bagad Kafat. So let's look at just the non-Bagad Kafat letters. What sound precedes the doggish? Well, here, it's Patak, a short vowel. Number 10, it's Hirik, a short vowel. Number 11, it's Hirik, a short vowel. The rest of these are Bagad Kafat letters. So again, the basic idea here is, if it's going to be strong doggish, it needs to have that vowel sound in front of it. All right. And let's see, yeah, that's really all there is to this one, I think. So if you have any questions or anything, let me know. I'm happy to go over in more detail with you, but the actual answers will be in the back. And do make sure that you're paying attention to all the instructions that give the reason here. Don't just tell me which one it is. Tell me why. Why is it strong or weak? All right. Same for the Shavah exercises. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.